Yeah, so the passage I'm going to read is really about Tanya, and I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, I felt like this one really just spoke to her character and kind of what she's all about. So yeah, that's why I chose this one.
Looking forward to it.
Should I start? Cool.
Take it away. You got it.
Okay. Great. Tanya lay on a bed of silk webs. They clung to her without discomfort, gently swaying her like a hammock. Each move of her limbs sent a ripple through the taut threads, vibrating them with sound. A haunting tune emanated from the web, stretching across the black sky, connecting stars in the vast expanse. A skittering melody preceded a large dark form appearing from the abyss. The gentle rocking of the web swelled to jerky bouncing. Tanya thrashed to free herself from the threads, but there was no more give than a stiff rubber band. She gritted her teeth to stop the tremors and recited the mantras to build strength. The form of a giant spider defined itself against the darkness. Tanya bit her tongue, cutting off the shriek. Sigurd's research attributed to no physical form to amuse. Was she somehow in the metaphysical dimensions of the tunnels beneath the tree? Perhaps this is one of the gatekeepers Sigurd cautioned about. What if their sacrifice had not been pleasing and this was her punishment? Closer in the creature's face and torso were that of a woman, sleek and black. Beneath firm tits, her human stomach began its transition into a furry abdomen, ending in a sharp point. Thick, arachnid legs bore her across the web. Whatever's happening, it's a test. Sacrificing fear calmed her muscles and the sticky web relaxed some. The entities of this realm were reported to treat travelers according to their confidence. I am Tanya Artel. I desire the infernal keys. She directed her thoughts at that creature. Through my work with Corrosive Ravens, I will give physical life to the dreams of the musical notes. The vibrating ceased, and the Spider-Woman loomed above her. Are you the muse? Tanya trembled. My lord has heard your prayer, the Spider-Woman said. Your sacrifice is pleasing to him. I will accompany your mission. We will praise you and your master. Relief nearly brought tears to her eyes. I bless you by emptying you. Fangs sprouted from the Spider-Woman's chiseled mouth, and she pierced Tanya's skin. Tanya stifled her squeal and writhed the line between pain and pleasure. Soon she could not feel either. Ounce by ounce, the spider goddess drained her, then wrapped her cold limbs in a cocoon. From beneath the thick casing, she heard the muffled whisper, "Now you can be filled." Tanya woke in their bedroom alone. She was still fuzzy to reality when the firmament opened. Images, scenes, and words flooded into her. Frantic to not interrupt the experience, she flailed for her notebook on the nightstand without focusing her eyes on anything but the visions. Her pen moved across the pages before she had an understanding of the ideas, transferring them from the stream of consciousness to scrawled ink. Somehow, a sixth sense knew when she was nearing the end of the page, and just as automatically she flipped to the next sheet and continued. Gothic scenes played in her mind, lyrics, art, locations. Then Tanya was shown her past. The men, the drugs, a bird's-eye view of her path. All of it sensed without words, a silent film playing in her mind, an understanding, a knowing. The transmission slowed, and her hand seized, fingers curling inward like claws, the channel of communication severing completely. Tanya collapsed to the bed, using her left hand to flatten out the gnarled fingers of her right. Here, Sigurd stepped from the shadows with a glass of water. Fuck, she startled. How long have you been watching me? It's been almost half an hour, he said. I want to know everything. What happened? I think that was communion with the muse. It was amazing. The aching sinews and tendons eased, and she was able to flip through the pages of art and musings. If she hadn't experienced it herself, Tanya would have never believed that much could be channeled in just 30 minutes. She wasn't creative. Art brought beauty to her life, but until this morning, the only thing she'd contributed to the world of music and art was the pleasure she brought lead singers. How do you feel? He asked. Amazing. Tanya lay back down on the bed, trying to remember getting home. Her eyes settled on flecks of blood under her fingernails, and her senses opened to a deeper layer of awareness. At the molecular level, she tasted coppery blood. The campfire smoke still coated her lungs, and burnt pig lingered on her skin. Memories flooded in another supernal download, Brad's warm flesh under hers. Me and the guys feel good too. We were jamming until I came to check on you. How close do you suppose our inspiration will align with yours? Guess we'll find out, she said. What happens now? For now, we need 10 new songs. After that, I don't know. The next move will be shown to us when we're ready, but I do know that hesitation is death. We need to start right away. Well, you better get to it, she said, handing him the journal. Use whatever you can. Make me famous. Yes, my queen. He cradled the journal like a newborn. Consider starting a second journal for your observations. Every worthy occultist documents their path to avoid mental confusion. Reality is going to change quickly. The tunnels can become unsolvable labyrinths to the ignorant. Dear diary, she teased. Yesterday I chopped off a man's cock and balls as an offering to one of Satan's princes. I drank his blood, and it was the most fun I've had in a long time. Something like that. He caressed her face. Rest, my dark mother. We'll get started on your material right away.
Oh, that is awesome. Amen.
That one actually flows like really well, I think, with the scene I picked.
This is why you write together.
Yeah. Jumping forward from that, where they committed the ritual and they did something to this guy so they could get access to the music, that place was discovered, and somebody knows what they did. And they are now going to blackmail them. And basically this band, Corrosive Ravens, has to play on a tour that someone who I won't tell you, because I don't know if you got that in Succubus yet, is basically going to force them to go on tour and do the tour that they want them to do. And while they're on that tour, they're going to make some promo video. So there's this really creepy villain. His name is Lobo, and he is going to film and interview them on their tour bus now as they're going somewhere. And so it's Sigurd, as she was saying, Tanya, and there's one other band member on it. All right. So who is this dark composer you give so much credit to? Lobo asked from behind the camera. A demon? The kitchen table was folded down in the tour bus. Lobo sat on one side, and the band sat on the other bench seat across from him. Sigurd in the middle, Tanya on his left hand, and Nico at his right. He is the deity of infernal music, Sigurd said with theatrical flair that reeked of a horror host on late-night cable. It probably gave him a boner explaining this way. He is the conductor of 83 muses, our master, the originator of all destructive sympathies from the dawn of time, and every performance connects attendees to the dimension of his abode. Is that why you want the pig's blood for ritual invoking? Lobo asked, seeming unfazed by Sigurd's spiel. Of course. Blood is the most energetic fluid next to semen. Sigurd glared at the camera as if trying to hypnotize Lobo through the lens. That's why religions forbid drinking it or eating live animals. Blood makes a person bold and wild, difficult to control. It's very pagan. That's the reason Abrahamic women are considered unclean when menstruating. Your leaders wouldn't want you rebelling against society's control after earning your Red Wings. Tanya puffed her cigarette to stop from smiling. Smoke filled the bus. Unlike Lobo, Cabral's mouth hung open in the rear mirror. Cabral is the person driving the van while Lobo films them. You don't care much for religion, do you? Lobo said. We do not care for religions that enslave the masses through fear-mongering, Sigurd said. The Pope is more evil than us, though few see it that way. Evil's a matter of perspective, Lobo said. Indeed. The way Sigurd smirked at the camera chilled Tanya. The only thing more destructive to man than organized religion is atheism. No one succeeds in life without the blessing of either an infernal or heavenly angel. And now that I know that truth, I choose the tunnels. The tunnels? Is that like the name of your religion? There are many attempts to label what we are. The theistic Satanists, dark occultists. Like our master, one label will not do. It is not sufficient. Sigurd chuckled, shifting back into the sportsmanship of Vincent Price. The truth is that numberless worlds and gods surround us. These entities and dimensions, invisible to our eyes, influence this world like nations on a continent. Every culture for thousands of years knew this, and each prayed to their own deities for protection and prosperity. The idea of atheism is a relatively new ploy just to weaken humanity. The true goal in life is to find the strongest god and align with them to accomplish your desire, just like a gang member would do. When the biggest boss wins, you win. Sigurd winked. The Satan is our god, the dark composer is our master, and his muse is the infernal angel who never leaves our side. That's beautiful in a way, Lobo said. He seemed nothing like the driver Cabral or Eddie. Eddie's dead, Tanya thought. Don't forget that. Then the camera shifted to Nico. You believe all this too? Santinus, Nico saluted with his beer, but his words were lackluster. And then the camera focused on Tanya. despite Sigurd's rousing speech, the lens was not as energizing as the faces of her fans, and she was nervous. She tried to hear the muse over her nerves to hear what to say. Satan is our only god I want. He's the master who feeds us when we feed him. And we are the 1%ers, Sigurd said. The upcoming album, Tunnels Beneath the Tree, will invite listeners to join us. 1%ers? That's correct, Sigurd said. You won't find true black magic woven into the bands like Chagall and obscene ones. They're atheistic posers of the worst sort. LaVey Satanists. Pathetic. For most of these profane artists, it's all an act. These interdimensional entities are real, though. Like Black Widow said, if you feed them, they will feed you. If you don't understand them, though, they will just feed off you. The bus pulled into a parking lot. Without a word, Cabral opened the door and stepped outside. Tanya looked out the window. It was a FedEx workshop. By the way, they were going to the FedEx to make flyers for the upcoming show. Go with them, Lobo said to Sigurd. Do what you need. Tanya and I will continue the interviews, and I'll eventually get to everyone one-on-one. Sigurd narrowed his eyes, and there was a moment of panic, and then the muse calmed her. I'm not as entertaining as Sigurd, she said, and the name's Black Widow. My humblest apologies, Lobo bowed his head. Sigurd smirked, and she was glad to have earned his trust in that moment. Well, have fun, he said, and he took her notebook and all of the flyers and artwork for the promos, and waving Nico to follow him. Lobo watched them leave, then turned to her with a sense of curiosity for the first time. It's good to be alone with you finally. You must be the 1% of the 1%. And don't forget it. She took a drag off the cigarette. How could I? The camera did not move. The red light continued to blink. Tell me how you met this dark composer, your master. What brought you from poser to believer? The Black Widow's venom slowed her pulse, and her focused her thoughts again. Interviews were a dance. Sigurd knew the steps well, and she needed to channel his type of energy. Years of abuse, Tanya said, careful of her words. When your parents don't give a fuck about the baby they created, it makes it difficult to believe in the loving God mega churches preach about. Atheism was all that made sense to me. Demons and witchcraft were entertaining, and putting conservative panties in a bunch helped pass the time. But it was Sigurd who eventually got us to believe in the spirit world and to enter into a pact with them. Yes, but what convinced you, he said, genuine curiosity hanging on his words. She stared into the past, unblinking until the smoke burned her eyes. One day, I'd had enough. The shit had to end, and anything was worth a try, even the occult, success or death. Off the record, he set the camera down and turned it off, and lowered his voice. Do you believe that killing that man really fed the devil, and he is rewarding you with success? Or was killing him easier than killing yourself? Her pulse thundered. I don't know what you're talking about. She couldn't admit this on camera. The camera's off, Lobo replied softly. This is only for me. Who the hell are you, Lobo, huh? Who's the god you bow to besides Dominic? If she let him bully her this first time, then it would never end. You might be surprised who my master is, Lobo said. Perhaps you should meet him. Are you threatening me? You misunderstand. You and I have a lot in common. The raven, Lobo, the wolf. No, we don't. I'm a unicorn. Indeed, he said. I searched long for you. His voice loosened a memory like photos falling from an envelope. I'm not the one, she said, watching the response in his face for confirmation. Are you sure? He asked plainly. Tell me, she said, off the record. Did Icarus' death give you a boner? There's no need for us to be at odds, Lobo kept himself composed. We need to be friends. The raven and the wolf. We can help each other. The legendary murder pact. Let us work together. It's time to leave, the muse whispered into her ear. That's crows. A murder is of crows. Tanya snuffed out the cigarette and stood. And I don't need your help. I have the muse. She smiled, feeling his hungry eyes, and she walked off the bus to join them at the FedEx.
Damn. The Dark Lords are looking down upon us today, favorably. So, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
You bet.
Bye.